Hey guys, I think I might have a fun video for y'all, especially anybody who saw my scary house video that I did last October about a house on my street that I believe is haunted. I just got some new information on that house. I also got some information on another house, one that's directly behind me, so yeah, I'm starting to get excited at the idea that maybe my neighborhood is haunted. But before I really say anything to you guys, I want to make sure that the information I have is correct. So I'm gonna go to the library. I'm on my way there right now. I need to look up more information on this area because the information that I have for these houses is from like the 1700s or 1800s, and I just want to make sure that it's correct. I don't want to just say, oh, this is what's going on in my neighborhood if it's not true. So I'm hoping I can find some sort of documentation to prove the stuff that I've been hearing. I'm in Virginia, and you know, this part of the States is pretty old. You know, people were here for the Revolutionary War and the Civil War, especially in the area I'm in. So yeah, I'm hoping I can get you guys some actual facts today on my trip. So yeah, I'm gonna run to the library right now, see what I can find out, and then I will check in with you guys and let you know. Okay guys, it's the next day, and I wanted to jump on here to let you know that my library trip was successful. The one I went to actually had a room in the basement called the Virginia Room, where it had a lot of old documents and maps and land deeds and census records for this area. So I was able to get the information that I needed. So yeah, I'm pretty much just gonna say that the information I got was confirmed. I'm gonna go with that, and so yeah, here is what I found out. If you aren't already aware of the scary house story, I'm gonna link the video. I don't know what side it's gonna be on, but I'll link it up in the info thing above. It's a video I filmed last year about a house on my street, and you should totally watch it because it's creepy as hell. But if you haven't already seen that video where I talked about the scary house, stop this one and watch that one first so you have a better idea of what I'm talking about. A little over a year ago, my family and I were looking to buy a new house, and we came to this neighborhood, and it's a house actually it's on my same street, but it's, I don't know, a couple houses down from me. And we saw that house first before we saw the house that we ended up buying. And that house had really bad vibes. It was pretty terrifying to be in there. And it wasn't just me that felt that way. My daughter was actually in tears when we were looking at that house. And the laundry room was so bad, not in the way it looked, but just in the way it felt, that I couldn't even walk in there. There was like, not a barrier, but there was just something about that room where my body would not go into that space. It was just a really scary space. So I told my husband, we're not living there. I'm not buying this house. You can't make me live there. I was freaking out. So anyway, we ended up buying another house on the same street. Yeah, like I said, watch that other video so you can get more details because there's more to that story. So anyway, fast forward to a few weeks ago, I'm at a homeowners association meeting with a bunch of neighbors, and I started talking to the neighbor that lives directly behind me. And her daughter is really spiritual. She does like tarot cards, things like that. And she came to visit her mom. And while she was here, she did a sage cleansing of her mom's house, where you go around with a bunch of sage and you light it or make smoke out of it, and you walk room to room and you tell the bad spirits to leave. So she did that at my neighbor's house behind me because they have ghost in their house, and that's a story for another day. But anyway, as that neighbor was telling me that story, I was like, wow, your daughter really needs to go to the scary house down the street. We all know of it, we all talk about it, so she knew what I was talking about. I was like, she needs to go to the scary house down the street and do the sage thing there because that house is whack. And my neighbor was like, yeah, I know. You know, there's a slave girl in the laundry room and she's freaking the other neighbor out. So I was like, wait, stop. The laundry room, you say, because that's the one room I could not enter in that house. And I was explaining to her how bad the laundry room felt to me, the bad vibes in that room. And I said, why do you think there's a slave girl in there? What are you talking about? And she said, you know, they found a slave cemetery on their property, right? And I'm like, no, what is this you're talking about? And she said that the neighbors that live in the scary house were walking on their property and they came across what they believed to be a slave cemetery or a cemetery of some sort. And another neighbor who has been in this area for a long time told them that that's what it was, that it was an old slave cemetery, and that neighbor has been seeing a slave girl in the laundry room. So I'm like, okay, is this for real? Are you, joking? How true is this? And I knew that this area, this neighborhood that I'm in, is an old neighborhood. There was a family that moved here in the 1700s, and I don't want to say their name because you could probably look it up and find my exact neighborhood, but let's just say their last name is Smith. So the Smith family moved to this neighborhood and they owned hundreds of acres, and they had cows and big farms, stuff like that. And there was a tavern here and a mill, so it was, like kind of a little town area. So anyway, I was really wondering if that family that lived here, did they even have slaves? Because if they didn't, then that's probably not a slave cemetery, and I don't know what it is they found. Maybe it's like a pet cemetery. So anyway, I went to the library and I looked up the records for this family, and I found out that they did have slaves, had quite a bit of them. And what was really sad is that it was written on the papers I found, like Joe Smith had 6 slaves under the age of 16 and 8 slaves over the age of 16. So that means they had kids here too, and it's really heartbreaking. So yeah, I wasn't able to find actual stories on any of the slaves that were here. I don't know any more information about them, names, how they died, anything like that. I would love to be able to find out that kind of information though, but I'm just not really sure where to look. If any of you guys do this sort of research or have any idea, what direction to point me in, please let me know down below. But anyway, it does give some credence to the story that I was hearing. So I kind of do believe that it's an actual slave cemetery back there. It would make sense with the information that I found out. And it would make sense with the feelings that I had at that house. I'm sure some really bad things happened in this area. So yeah, it kind of all ties together and makes sense now. I still haven't been back in that house since that one day that we came to look at it when it was for sale. I would love to go in there with her living there and see what it feels like now, and see if I feel the same way in the laundry room like I did last year. Who knows? But yeah, I'm gonna try to ask around. I don't know if I want to ask her specifically what's going on in her house, because I don't want to freak her out, and I don't know. I do want to get on the property though. I want to try to find the cemetery, and I do want to try to collect some more information. But that is what I've got right now, and I felt like it was a pretty big discovery. So I wanted to share it with you guys. I know this is a super long video, and I don't want to keep you guys any longer. But yeah, like I said, if you have any information on how I can go about finding better records, especially pertaining to slaves, I don't know. Yeah, let me know that down below. And I hope you guys have a very haunted Halloween, and I will see you all later. Bye.